Peace and blessings, family. It is yours truly. I am Amar Mari. I am the founder of El Kebalan Union Alliance, where we focus on your spiritual, your physical, and your financial well-being. I hope everybody week has went well, and I hope that everyone's weekend is going well. I just wanted to stop by and speak with you briefly today in regards to living your life freely. Okay, it is so much going on in the world today. I just thought it is befitting at this time for this message to be shared with you as it relates to walking in truth. Okay, this is my truth. Okay, I only share with people what I know. Okay, I believe in speaking what I know, testifying to what I both seen and heard. Okay, that's being a true witness. Somebody who has experienced something, whether it's they've seen it or they heard it, okay, they experienced it. Okay, and for myself, okay, I have been liberated in my mind. Okay, once upon a time, I was a person who followed after religion, and as I began to study, to show myself approved, a workman that needed not to be ashamed. Okay, truly rightly dividing the word of truth, right? Once I came encounter with the truth, okay, it wasn't only the truth that set me free. Okay, it was the implementation of accurate information that brought about salvation, that made me into a new creation, that really showed me who I truly am. The truth is a mirror. It gives you the reflection of who you truly are. And when I looked into the mirror of truth, I began to find out that I was lied to from a child all the way into my adulthood. Okay. And there's things that I found out in my own studying, okay, that I had an encounter with. Truths that I come to find to be real truths. And I began to see some people who were claiming liberation. To me, they themselves were bound. Okay. And I began to see that some people, they began to worship man, okay, rather than the creator. Okay. This is what I had come to find. That they made these imperfect human beings perfect. And they began to worship them. They began to take everything that they read and that they heard from, their leadership in the ministry, and began to take everything they said as face value. And what I recognized is that people really did not have relationship. They had religion. Okay. People were able to quote certain verses, and people we're talking about certain spiritual systems like our African spiritual systems, or the indigenous spiritual systems in this continent so-called called America, and began to throw a negative shade on it because they had not researched what they were taught. They were just repeating what they heard. Okay. They quoted verses from memorization and not revelation. And it's a lot of people in the spiritual arena and as well as the religious arena, okay, that are actually bound. They're not free. Okay. And so once I became liberated, I refused to be entangled again with a yoke of bondage. There is certain mentalities that people have, and they impose their views on you. This is in the political arena, the religious arena, the spiritual arena. You have people who take advantage of people, okay? And they know that these people are mentally weak, that they're gullible, that they're already in a disdained state of mind, and they will take advantage of them, okay? In the Ifa religion, I come to find a lot of fake Babaluas out here. Okay, this book right here tells you some truths. Okay, it's Iwe Odu Ifa. And in here in the Iwe Odu Ifa, okay, I found truths. The Babalua spoke a lot of truths in here. And he spoke about the sacrificing. Okay, which, is the Igbo, which is a sacrifice, Yoruba. It's a Yoruba spiritual system, Ifa. Ifa is the word of Olodumare, the word of the Creator. Okay, to a lot of people who are religious, you've been taught that, they believe in multiple gods and things of this nature. Well, they believe in one Creator. Okay, that is a fact. Olodumare as the Creator of all. Okay, just like in the indigenous practices of this continent, so-called called America. Okay, you have the indigenous perspective of the grandfather, and a lot of us don't even know. In the indigenous people side, they call the spirit that one that creates all the grandfather. All right, the grandfather spirit. Okay, and then you have the grandmother spirit. Right, but we're taught that and some say, no disrespect, they say I bear witness. There's only one. You know what I'm saying? But see, how can you bear witness if you never experienced anything other than what you know? So that means you're speculating. Have you ever, spoke to the Orishas? Have you ever called upon the Orishas? Okay. Have you ever done that? Have you did altar work? Have you ever had an experience with, your ancestors? Okay, because let me tell you something, even in the Bible, okay, when Yeshua was on the mountain, okay, and if you check the lineage of Yeshua, okay, Moshe, which is known as Moses, and Eliyahu, which is known as Elijah, okay, were in his bloodline. So when he spoke to them, technically Yeshua was talking to, in the Bible, it says this now, not something I'm making up, okay? It says that he spoke to them on the mountain. Okay, which means that he was speaking to his ancestors. Okay? Even in Catholicism, they teach you to speak to the saints, which is their ancestors. Again, Memorial Day. And people have heard me say this before, and I will continue to repeat this. Because I desire to see our people free. This is not to beat anybody up. This is to build you up, not to beat you up. Because, see, I love you. See, when you love people, you're going to tell them the truth. If I see you going the wrong way and you don't see the one-way street sign, right? And it's covered up by a tree, okay? And you're driving the wrong way down the street. And if I didn't warn you and tell you, hey, family, you going the wrong way. This is a one-way street. You're going in the wrong direction. You're going to get into a crash. And you could possibly lose your life if I stay silent. So see, some people don't understand. See, some people think that when you're speaking out against these things, oh, that's a troublemaker. It's only trouble for those who are brainwashed. You're only making trouble for those who are brainwashed. Okay? You're only making trouble when you start speaking about your culture, okay, which includes your spirituality. And your culture also encompasses the way you dress. See, when you start speaking out against these things that have us incarcerated, you're only considered to be a troublemaker to those who are the troublemaker. Okay? It's like a bully when you fight the bully back and the bully try to make it seem like, oh, you're the troublemaker now. They want you to stop resisting them. Why? Because they want you to have power. They want to have power over you. Okay? And you have bullies in the political arena. You have bullies in the religious arena. You have bullies in the spiritual arena. Okay? And they want to manipulate you and control you like a puppet and pull your strings. Okay? And the string is attached to your mind. In other words, information that incarcerates you. Listen, family, you have a right to be free. You have a right to be able to analyze information and to be able to make a sound judgment call and to be able to say whether or not that's a truth or a lie. No man is perfect in this earth. No Babalua, no pastor, okay? No imam, okay? No master teacher in the so-called conscious movement. Nobody is beyond critiquing. No one. And you have a right to research. You have a right to analyze that information for yourself and to be able to make a sound judgment call on whether or not it's right or wrong. Listen, don't allow nobody to put you in a box, family. Because see, what I've learned to do in my life is to speak from what? Experience. See, there's a lot of people, they speak from what they're told rather than what they know, meaning they have the knowledge of it, not because somebody taught. See, teach is to bring an awareness to, right? Right? But there's also a side of knowing that you gain from experience. Let me tell you the reason why I believe in the supernatural realm. It's because of what I just aforesaid. I had an experience. See, I wasn't one of those people who went to church and I read the Bible and I didn't have no spiritual experiences. I didn't see signs, wonders, and miracles, healings, and deliverances. I wasn't one of those Christians. You understand? And see, some people, they will call the supernatural realm a fluke because they didn't experience anything. Listen, hear me clearly, out of love. Do not allow nobody to cause you to refrain from sharing your truths. You walk in your truth. You walk in what you know. Okay? And the reason why I subscribe to it, I don't try to persuade anybody to believe in it. No, I just simply share and I help people to have a better understanding that, listen, the reason why you don't subscribe to it is because you have not had no experience. So how can it be real to you? That means that you would be speculating. You're saying that something is real without a encounter, with what you're declaring is real. Okay, which is the supernatural realm. And some people don't understand dreams are supernatural. Some people, that was just a dream. Oh, but you know what? I've experienced dreams, and what I experienced has actually come to pass. Okay? I've seen visions, and those visions have actually come to pass. I have prayed for people, and I've seen people healed instantly right before my eyes. This is our African spirituality. A lot of people don't understand that our ancestors hid the Orisha behind the saints. This is what's going on in Brazil, in Northern America. Ifa was brought by our ancestors to Northern America, and they hid the Orishas behind these saints. And so some of these practices that you see are actual spiritual practices that were taught by the priests, which is our Babaluas, our Iyas, okay? Who the Iyas are the mothers, if you will, of the community. And they teach the women spiritually as well as the men. And a Babalua is called father. Okay, now in the Catholicism, what they have, father, right? A Babalua, that's what a Babalua, the definition is, father. You understand? So the priests, a lot of things that they utilize come from African spirituality. Okay? They even have exorcisms, casting out of negative energy forces as we know it as demonic forces, and they use it. And a lot of people don't understand that it's really magic. It's magic. But see, we're taught, refute magic. Oh, don't embrace magic. Exactly, Brad. And I'm not going to argue with you about that. You see, I'm not going to listen, my Auntie Queen and my Uncle Ronnie, they're pastors. Okay, I've seen them, okay, go from being drug addicts and alcoholics, okay, to becoming pastors. Let me tell you something in here, I Hear Olofi's song. Let me read something to you real quick. It says, I hear Olofi's song. This is a collection of prayers. See, one thing about Ifa, we don't condemn no one. That's his life path. That's his reality. That's what he's experienced. And what happens is a lot of times we want to argue with people who've had an experience. And what you're doing, you sound like a fool because you're telling them it's not real when they've experienced things. So I'm not going to argue with the Muslim. I'm not going to argue with one who say that they're Christian, because when you start checking the history of, you know what I'm saying, Christianity, it goes back to Ethiopia, which goes back to Kush. When you start going back to those type of churches and things of this nature, okay? When you go back to the temples, okay? You go back to the Kushites, okay? So when you start doing your research, you start understanding these things. Listen, the Bible just been tampered with. I don't know what's in the original text. I'm not going to argue with anybody. The reason why I say it's tampered with is only because you have all these various versions, okay? And when you read one version, the NIV version, it doesn't have what the King James Version has. And then you got the New American Standard, all these different versions, all these different, interpretations of Revelations. Okay, a whole bunch of confusion, to be frank. Listen, you got to have a relationship with the Creator, okay? With the universe. Okay, this is what I know. This is what I stand on. Okay, and let me read this to you. It's on page number 45. If you should purchase this book, it's called, again, I Hear Olofi's Song. Okay, it's on page 45, and it's a prayer to Baba Esu. And the prayer says this. It says, may I not judge, criticize, but honor you by realizing that there are various perspectives. I pray you always allow me to be open-minded. Now, see, there's a verse in the Bible that says that their minds were seared with a hot iron, meaning they're closed-minded. Okay? And let me prove it to you that everybody don't believe what's written in the Bible, because some women preach in the church, okay? And Paul said that women shouldn't preach. And some pastors are still, some apostles, some bishops, some pastors. I'm not telling you something that I heard. I'm telling you something I know. Okay? I was a licensed bishop who was getting ready to be ordained as an apostle in the Christian church. I'm telling you what I know. I used to pastor. I'm telling you what I know. I'm telling you what I experienced. I grew up in the church back in Rochester, New York, Pentecostal Miracle Deliverance Center Church, Bishop Willie Smith Jr., where his wife was the assistant pastor. Okay? So, and there was a whole bunch of female teachers and preachers in all of the congregations I went to. So here's how I know that everybody don't believe in everything that they read. But they want to tell you the Bible is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And don't change of one jot or one tittle of the word of the Bible. Well, if that be the case, then why do you subscribe to women teaching and preaching? Because obviously you know that man is not perfect, and you believe that man is actually a person who is capable of making mistakes, but there's a war going on in your members. Huh? Because it tell you that Moses, the Most High told Moses to speak to the rock, but he hit the rock. Check the record. Check the story. Aaron made a golden calf, and doesn't the Bible say you should not worship any engraven images? Huh? But Aaron made a golden calf. Okay? Doesn't it tell you you shouldn't commit adultery? Because see, David came after the 10 Commandments, right? Right? Check the record. Check the book, Psalms and all of them. It came after Moses, right? Okay, so did he kill Uriah to have his wife, Bathsheba? But yet he was the chosen of God. So what am I telling you, beloved? I'm telling you, unfortunately, beknownst to some of you, even in Christianity, Islam, the conscious movement, you have made these men into gods. You have made them perfect, like they have no way of being wrong. And you take everything at face value because you get stuck on, oh, they laid down their life for us. Oh, they're fighting for liberty. What are you doing, brother? What are you doing, sister? Oh, they did this and that. Listen, I keep telling people and I continue to keep telling you, okay, you are going to be in bondage if you keep allowing people to impose their views on you. These men in the Bible were not perfect. Even the Bible tell you they weren't perfect. But people teach what they teach out the Bible like it's perfect. Okay, and there's no such thing as a perfect man, so no way that a man could write a perfect book. It's simple logic. And once you get broken free in your mind, you begin to understand these things, and you will not allow people to teach you into even deeper bondage. You understand? So for myself, in my personal experience, okay, I don't call all Caucasian people devils. I'm not ashamed to say this. I'm not afraid of what no conscious activist going to say either. Because in my experience, from what I experienced when I was a child and I was getting ready to drown in a downtown dam in Rochester, New York, it was a Caucasian man that jumped over there and saved me. Uh-oh. Yes. When I had no certain place of dwelling, and I was in the Marine Corps, one of my fellow staff sergeants, who was Caucasian, knew my situation that I was going through a divorce, and I had to separate. I didn't have any money to be able to move in a certain place at the time because I was paying child support and all these other things. Went, talked to some of these so-called friends I had that looked just like me, told them my situation. Okay, oh man, I'm sorry, I ain't got nowhere, I don't have no room. Went to this Caucasian guy named Sean Hallman, who was a former staff sergeant in the United States Marine Corps, who's retired. Went to him and he said, hey, Walter, you could come move with me, man. You could come stay with me. You could come stay in my house. Now, I went to all these people who so-called said they were my friends that looked like me. They had space, but never opened up their home to me. But this person who's Caucasian, who doesn't look like me, helped me. In fact, it's another guy. His name is Matty Mo. Okay, he's a YouTuber. His name is Matty Mo, M-A-T-T-Y. I believe it's M-O. When I was posting liberation posts, at one time, it wasn't not one African person that shared what I was posting, other than my wife. And this Caucasian person took my post, and he real too, wasn't no hacking. Came on there and shared my post and say, follow this brother on YouTube and follow him on my various platforms because this guy is teaching truth. But you know what happens? It goes against the theology that you were taught, that all of them are devils. But isn't it kind of amazing that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan went to a church when they kicked him off of YouTube, and Father Flagler, who is a Caucasian man, the very same Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan who you honor, and it's amazing to me, the same ones who teach that, the one who they admire and adore so much, was invited by a Caucasian man. to come to the church, for him to have a platform there for him to speak. See, this is the reason why I say that you can't go off of everything that you hear somebody teach. See, I understand because of my experience. See, I'm not afraid of people calling me, you know what I'm saying, a sellout. See, I'm not afraid of somebody calling me brainwashed because I understand what true freedom is. True freedom is you able to make a sound judgment. You knowing the whole matter before you come to a conclusion. And this is what I believe we stand on, man. You stand on the truth. You stand on what you know. See, I talk from my own personal experience. When I was 5 years old, I got hit by a car. The car ran me over and an angel pulled me from up under the car. I seen a bright light. My body was snatched from up under the vehicle. Seen as being in a white robe. My leg was broke. I didn't even know my leg was broke after this being touched me. And the whole time this being was with me and told me it's going to be all right. See, I stand on what I know. I don't stand on what somebody think that they know. I stand on my reality. I stand on my experience. And see, we have to start questioning things and evaluating things and just stop following after things because, oh, that's mama, that's grandmama, that's grandpa. Listen, I'm here to help set you free. Okay, I'm not here, you know what I'm saying, to do anything other than to help set you free spiritually, physically, and financially. This is what this movement is all about. This is what my wife and I have been called to do. We both came out of religion. We both evolved. And check this out. There's a prayer. I'm getting ready to close right now. I promise you. This is no lie. We have to go and carry on our day. But I just want to stop by and drop these truths to you. And this is another Ifa prayer. And I'm ending right here. It's called to Orisha Oku. O-R-I-S-A space O-K-O. It's a prayer to Orisha Oku. And this prayer says, Orisha Oku, please plant a seed in me, in my growth. May I develop so I may move beyond my current reality. Again, so I may move beyond my current reality. And beloved, the ones who listening to me, this is my prayer for you. That you move beyond your current reality. You cannot ignore the racist systemic attacks because you are spiritual. It is real. It is happening. But it's up to you to embrace that. Well, I can't do it because I'm African and I'm a male, or I'm an African female. I can't be successful because of my ethnicity and my gender. Listen, I am not a slave. And this is in my closing. I am not a slave. I don't give a dog with nobody. People can say, oh, you in this system. Listen, that's your mindset. If that's what you subscribe to, that's your reality and that's what you are. But the last time I checked, a slave can't get on a plane and go to Africa if they wanted to, when they wanted to. A slave can't move to Africa. Like last time I checked, historically, a slave didn't have that type of power. That's all I'm saying. Now, I know there's different forms of slavery. I got it. You got mental slavery and then there's physical. That's it. Neither am I mentally. You understand? See, I don't allow people to teach me into incarceration mentally. No, sir, you're not going to do it. No way. I refuse to be entangled again with a yoke of bondage. I'm not returning back to the bondage that I was in. No, ma'am, no, sir. No, my brother or sister or elder, it's not happening. You understand? You know, and people say this, oh, you still enslaved. No, you're enslaved. That's why you don't get nowhere. That's why there's no momentum and no traction in your life, because you feel like you're a slave. I'm not a slave. I'm not a slave to no man, no teaching, no ideology, no religion, okay, no spiritual system. I am not a slave. Because with me, it's about relationship, being one with the universe. The universe wisdom is too vast to contain it in any book. Okay, any book. The wisdom of the universe is too vast to be restricted to ink and paper, or a religion or a spiritual system, or an activist movement. Okay? Be very careful. I'm telling you out of love. Watch and pray, lest you also enter into these temptations. Beware of man. Worship no man. Honor them, respect them, but never put them in a place of imperfection. Never do that. Always make sure that you verify these things yourself. Know thyself, and not only know thyself, know for yourself. You have a right. And if any man or any woman, I don't give a dog on what form they come in, your mama, your grandmama, your granddaddy, your cousin, uncle, brother, sister, okay, your best friend, your godmama, goddaddy, I don't care who they are. You have a right to analyze that information and to ensure that you're not going to be incarcerated by you embracing those teachings. Period. Period. And that's the bottom line. So live in freedom, family. Be free. Be free. Don't be afraid of being who you are. You're an African woman. You're an African man. Okay? Be free. Don't be afraid to have an African name. Don't be afraid to dress in your African clothing. If you're indigenous and you have Tasalagi in you, which some people say Cherokee, if you have Blackfoot in you, if you have Creek in you, whatever, people argue over those names, whatever. Okay? If you're indigenous, be free. Be who you are. Embrace who you are. Do not allow no races. Do not allow no so-called I love the African people too. Okay? To stop you from being who you are. Don't allow no political power, no religious power. Okay? No spiritual organization, no so-called liberation organization to incarcerate you. You live the truth, and the truth is exactly that, the facts. You measure the facts with the lies, and you'll come to find the truth. So be free, family. Be free. Walk in the truth. Peace and love. Have a blessed weekend. Love you.